Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to play Lee Hyperreal. I'm not going to go into too many details about his skills or anything like that, guys. We're just going to talk about how you should really be playing this character and the things you should be looking out for whenever you're playing with him, and also talk about whether or not you really should pull for him, considering some certain characters are going to be coming in the future updates of the game, and show the difference between using his 5-star weapon and his 6-star weapon, and whether or not you really should pull for that as well. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how you should build him. Now this is only up to double S. When he's S or S5 or double S, this is how you should build him. You want to have 2 Cotties on the character, and you want to have 4 of his own memories. But whenever you have the Cotties, you actually want the Cotties on bottom because they actually have a lower amount of attack compared to these here. These have 132 attack, whereas the Cotties, when they're on bottom, they have 135. So you really want the bottom. You want the Cotties on bottom because you gain just a little bit of extra attack stats if you are running the Cotties. If you are running him at a higher level like SS3 or triple S or above SS3 and above, then you're going to want to use 2 Darwins instead of Cotty, and you're going to want the 2 Darwins up on top and then have 4 here. That's the reason I have stuff like this, because I'm actually going to triple S Lee, so I just went ahead and put the Cotties in this place. But this is where you're really going to want your Darwins, and that's why I have it set up that way. But if you're putting Cotties, put the Cotties on bottom, just for the 4 of these. 3 of these memories on top, and then 1 memory on bottom, 2 Cotties on bottom. As far as resonance, guys, you really want your signature on all bottom slots, and you want some kind of attack stat on top, whether it's attack and crit. It doesn't really matter, guys. As long as you have the plus 15 attack, that's what you want on top. You can see these here were terrible rolls, but that's okay because I'm going to be changing them to Darwins anyways. These should be attack as well, but you just want attack on top, and you want the signature move on bottom. Now let's talk a little bit about his 5-star weapon. Now the 5-star weapon just increases his fire damage, whereas the other weapon increases attack by 10%, but it also, whenever you're casting Whelm Travel, would trigger Matrix if not on cooldown, and the first Hyper Matrix strike launch upon entering battle will generate 1 extra sight point. And we're going to talk about what that sight point is, because it's actually really vital to this character's kit. Now when it comes to his pet is, these are the stats you really want to level up. He only needs to have an S rank pet if you do decide to buy this. Just increase fire damage up to 10%, and then the Mark of Overlapping Void Matrix is the other one you should level up, because it's going to increase his base damage of the Hyper Matrix Strike in Collapsing Realm by 25%. That's an insane damage bump for him, and then it's going to do a little downward punch on top of it. It's pretty damn cool. Honestly, it's a really cool pet if you do decide to buy it. If you do, you only need to be S rank. If you want to get it, make it a little bit stronger, you can, and try to get some of these other little things, but really this is where it's at, those 2 stats right there. So let's play with good old Lee, and let me show you guys what's up with him, because that's really what it comes down to. And he's actually a pretty simple character to play once you get him figured out. And this is the team composition you want to use. You want to put Lee in the yellow, you want to have your Da Vinci holder in the red, and you want your tank in the yellow. This is going to be a really good way to go for Lee for the most part. There's always some differences you can use as far as, you know, your team variations, but this is the setup that I'm going to be going with. And as far as your tank, guys, Nanami Starfire is going to be the best here, but if you don't have Nanami Starfire, then Nanami Pulse would be another really great candidate. If you don't have Nanami Pulse, you could use the A rank Ayla or A rank Kamui Bastion. Those 2 characters also be really good here, and just have whatever Da Vinci holder in here. And any amplifier would be really good, because anytime you switch in team members and whenever you play with Lee, you're going to be doing switch gameplay in your game modes. So having an amplifier here would actually be really good, because you'll get that extra attack. Even if it isn't Liv Imperia, there's the free Selena. We're going to get a free Ayla later down the road that you could actually put in this place. But if you don't have them, you could put Sophia here, although she isn't really the greatest choice. But there are team variations where you could just vary between Lee and the tank in your gameplay. Alright, so let's take a look at how Lee is played, because he's got a complicated kit, but honestly he's a pretty simple character to play. So the first thing you notice whenever you drop in Lee is you got this blue gauge down at the bottom, and remember, I'm using his 5-star weapon. So here's the way that Lee works. This gauge is an indication to show you whenever you can go into your Hyper Matrix. And Hyper Matrix is triggered by hitting your basic attack. You hold your basic attack button down to go into the Hyper Matrix. Now at double S, you actually trigger your QTEs, which is pretty dang cool. It's actually really awesome that you do that. So when I hold my basic attack button down, bam, you see the QTEs trigger, and then you can run through your skills. All right, now I'm not going to do that. We're just going to let this run out, and we're going to start over, okay? So right here you see what's called a sight point, okay? And it's yellow because I did a yellow 3 ping, right? I do another yellow 3 ping, boom. We have another sight point, okay? You can get up to 3 sight points on your characters, and it doesn't matter yellow, red, or blue. And we'll do another 3 ping, and we have another sight point. Now, something else that's really cool about Lee is that his red and his yellow orbs, they also act as a dodge. If you time them correctly, you can actually dodge attacks. But back to the issue at hand. So now we have the gauge field completely filled, and we have 3 sight points. Those sight points are going to act as 3 pings every time we do a snipe shot in the Hyper Matrix mode. So when we hold basic attack button down, and we hit our basic attack again, we are ready to start building up these sight points. So when I shoot this gun 3 times, right, we just got all of our 3 pings. And every time we hit a 3 ping, you'll notice that gauge keeps filling. The idea is to get as many 3 pings as you can. So when I do, right, I did a 3 ping and we just got 1 level here. And for every 3 ping, you can build up to 4. 4 of them will give you the maximum amount of damage. And there's 4 of them. Bam. Bam, right? And then we have our signature, our final signature ready. And whenever we hit that at double S, you'll see that the QTs will trigger automatically, which really helps in his damage. When he's at double S, he really becomes a different animal. Now, the thing about Lee, guys, whenever you're playing with this character is you don't want to sit here and run around and try to build up a bunch of sight points. You don't want to do that at all. What you want to do is whenever you drop him in to play him is you want to just hit your basic attack down and start going to town. It's what you want to do. Okay, by the way, you can build ours doing this too, right? And he automatically does the signature after this gauge completely deplenishes. Once it finishes, he'll do a signature automatically. But remember, whenever you're in the Hyper Matrix mode and you're doing 3 pings, you'll constantly be building up this gauge. So it does give you time to be able to go into your signature afterwards. So, and you can see why these sight points are going to be really, really handy and why that weapon would be so good, because you'll actually be able to do more damage on your ult whenever you have those extra sight points available. So we go here, okay? So like right now we got 1 sight point already ready to go, and we have 10 orbs. So we hit here. And we have 4 slots on the ulti. And then bam. And then we can go straight into our next ulti afterwards. He has 2 separate ultis. So that's kind of the reason why the weapon is so recommended, is because it gives you that extra sight point. So let me show you again, guys. I'll take him out. Right, we'll come in here. And remember, this is double S with his 5-star weapon. And I want you to pay attention to what's going on. So you're going to start off with 7 orbs. And as soon as we go into Hyper Matrix, you're going to get a sight point. Right here. So you got 1, 2. And so you only have 2 bars on your signature down here, right? So you're not doing as much damage. The more of these you have filled down here on that signature, the more damage that Lee will do. And so the weapon really gives you this insane quality of life that makes him a lot easier to play, not to mention gives him quite a bit more damage. So we take that, we put that on him, and we jump back in here. Let me show you what's up. All right, you'll notice that we'll have a sight point automatically, and then whenever we go into the Hyper Matrix, we'll automatically get another one from having him at double S. So we drop him in, okay? And you see, guys, that we were able to build up 4 of those points in 1 round, no problem. Right? It's just so much easier whenever you have the 6-star weapon. When you have that thing, you can just build up your ultimate so much easier, or do more damage with it. So again, you drop them in here, right? We just do the core passive. And look, 4 signatures, right? 4 slots right there. And then this is ready to go, and we can use this. And at double S, your QTs will be ready to go over here. These characters will be ready to go. Bam. And by the way, look at that. Isn't that thing cool? Break that cub. Watch this. Look at it. Nice, nice. We'll do it again. Sometimes it does the peace sign. That's hilarious, man. That is hilarious. And whenever you're in the sniper mode, a couple things happens here. One, you automatically can dodge any attack that comes at you, right? This gauge will not deplete while you're in sniper mode. And whenever someone tries to attack me and they come at me, he will auto dodge this. This is actually something that's really, really cool about this character. So you'll see here, I didn't hit any buttons, guys. He just dodged automatically, right? Now, whenever you're in sniper mode and you start shooting, that's when you're going to use these 3 pings, right? So you see me do this again. Boom, look at that. It dodged right there, okay? So we're going to wait for this gauge to build up. That's so cool that he does that auto dodge. But that's pretty much Lee in a nutshell. That's pretty much how you want to play the character. Is you're really just trying to drop him in. So we'll just jump into like some Phantom Pain Cage here. And I'll show you guys real quick. No. I can't do that one because I've already done it. But I'll just show you guys real quick of, you know, how to play the character, right? I mean, he's pretty dang nuts. So, here we go. Boom, right? Didn't even use this pet, right? Easy, easy, easy. Love his outro. So cool. Alright, we'll just save the score and we'll move a little bit further. And this is how easy it is with this guy. You know, there's a lot of players out there that don't know, like they think about skipping him, and for some players got some legitimate reasons, but seriously, this guy is boom, look at that. I mean, he just melts these guys like butter, right? And granted, this is easy stuff here, right? This is not that difficult right now. But even as it gets more difficult, you're going to find that this guy is just going to murder this stuff like it's nothing, right? I mean, these are some really good scores that he's putting up, right? Now, I'm doing it on a whim, right? Now, granted, it's early on, right? We'll see how he does as it gets harder. But you just do this one time. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at him. He just murders the crap out of this stuff. Just insane. You know, and this is the thing. This is the reason why you would want this character. This is a good score. To come in here on a whim and do that, just jump in here, you know, for the hell of it, right? That is insane. And this is at double S, right, with the Cotties. You know, this is not SS3 or triple S. I mean, you can just go straight into your matrix and just murder. Look at this. Like, it's just insane. Like, why would anyone want to skip this guy? I mean, I get there's some legitimate reasons out there, but man, he is so, I mean, that is an insane score, guys. Almost 160,000 on a whim. On a whim. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, right? So, you know, when I want to show you guys how to play him, I wanted to show you just how strong he really is. I mean, look at that, guys. Bam! This is max pain cage. This is max. We didn't even get to go into a second ulti. And he got 318,000 points. 318,000 points on a whim. This is why you would really want this character, you know. So a lot of people think about skipping the guy because they're wanting Watanabe in the future. And Wada's freaking awesome, guys. I have him on my CN account. But that is a long, long ways away. And I just don't see why anyone would want to jip their fire team, right? You really would want Lee on that team, guys. He is so good, so strong. Not to mention, so fun, has insane skills, crazy dodge mechanics, time stop on his ultimate. I mean, he's just so flashy, so fun to play, god tier survivability. He's just an awesome character all around, and I personally would recommend him. As far as his 5-6-star weapon, I really would recommend that too, and that's kind of his downfall, is that you really would want the 6-star weapon, but even with the 5-star weapon, guys, he's going to perform really, really well. It's just you're not going to be able to do as much damage on that ult. But you saw what he just did, right? With the 6-star weapon, with no resonance on that weapon. he's still going to do really, really good with the 5-star weapon and still make your fire team a whole lot better than it ever would be, not to mention just having a whole lot of fun with him. But let me know what you guys think about Lee. Let me know if you decide to pull for him, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. G2+7 time. The link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.